All right. All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Black Owned Tour, where we are bringing Black Owned back with another amazing, wonderful, special guest today. And she has a wonderful, flavorful juice, health, and wellness juice company called Vital V's Juicery. So, everybody, please welcome today as we put on a nice round of applause for Miss Victoria Walker. That's just my little intro there. But yeah, so just pretty much introduce yourself to the people. Just let them know what you do, what inspired you, just whatever is coming on. Just this your bio.
Okay, well, as Tariq said, my name is Victoria Walker. I am from Fort Worth, Texas, born and raised. Um, I've been running Vital V's for 5 months and 3 days exactly. Yeah, so
Hey,
the funny
turn up
thing,
for the new
funny
entrepreneur.
thing about that 5 months is that month one, we weren't even a juice company. We were just really giving out health tips and showing snacks and smoothies, stuff like that. That's where Vital V's came from, actually. So I started that Instagram in May, on May 4th, and I started to get more love from the juicing because I juice for myself as well, like every day. And so more people were commenting and asking, and I was just getting a lot of feedback, positive feedback. And they were like, like you should sell. And I was like, no, like I like it, but I don't know if other people will like it. So really, it was just fear that was keeping me from just branching out and sharing my gifts with everybody else. And then I started reflecting because I do journal as well. So I started reflecting through all my journals, and everything that I was asking for this year was right in front of me. And I was like, you know what? Let me just put this fear behind me. Let me just go ahead and just put it out there and see what I get back. And what I got back was just so much love, so much encouragement. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And May 30th was the first time that I sold. And I was so overwhelmed with how much people wanted my juice. So I was like, okay, let me sit down, make a plan, and just really get this together.
Wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't think 5 months. I'm surprised. Do you have a favorite juice on your menu? Because I think I drank the I think it was mango.
The pineapple.
Pineapple passion.
Oh my Lord. It was I wanted to save it for today, but I killed it as soon as I tasted it. I was like,
you know what? And that's kind of how it works in my household as well. I actually had a juice for the show to drink. And my dad, who's probably watching this right now, was like, hey, do we have any juice? And I was like, go ahead and drink it. I would have to say it's between the sweet greens, which is a combination of leafy greens and fruits. So kale, spinach, apple, lemon, and pineapple passion as well. That one is amazing.
Yeah, I didn't even taste the other one that he had, but whenever he gave me that pineapple passion, I was like, I'm in love. I need to meet her, and I need to find a way to keep in contact because
it's all natural, so you don't have to drink it and then think later like, I should have had something healthier. It's 100% fruit juice. That's it.
No sweeteners, no nothing.
No sweeteners. Absolute fruit.
Man.
Wow.
And none of my juices have anything added. No extra preservatives, no extra sugars. Everything is just fruit and veggies.
Wow. I guess so. Then my question would be, what inspired you to go on this health journey? What inspired you to, have you always been a health fanatic? Are you vegan? Are you vegetarian? Just some things for your background, because that juice tastes like you've been in the game for a good 10 years and not 5 months. So,
well, I have always been into health and wellness. I ran track from the time I was 13 up until I was about 20. So being in the track and field world, you just can't go around eating whatever you want and think you're going to get out there and perform.
Okay.
So early on, I learned that lesson. So I would say when I was in high school is when I really started to take my health serious. So I was a girl bringing my lunch to school. I wasn't in the lunch lines. I wasn't eating anything that I wasn't unsure about. It wasn't getting eaten by Victoria. So it started there. And when I got to college, it went to another level because I was competing at another level. So I was vegetarian for a little while, but competing and all the workouts and weights, I kind of needed the meat in my diet at the time. So I didn't want to give that up just yet. I would love to be vegan. Looking at my options there, but I love mac and cheese.
Right.
You gotta find a good
That's the problem. It's not even the meat anymore. It's the baked mac and cheese.
Absolutely.
I have been juicing for longer than 5 months for myself. So I've been juicing for probably about 2 years. My grandmother gave me my first juicer and I just kind of played with it. And I really liked how I felt. I used to have a lot of issues with like my digestive system and bloating. And I was like, as active as I am, like this doesn't make sense. So something in my diet is, wrong. So once I started juicing, all those problems went away. I mean, even my skin got better. When I ate, I didn't look like I was walking around 3 or 4 months pregnant. Everything like just flowed the way it was supposed to. I hear my parents laughing right now. So that's where that started. And then in 2020, of course, January 1st, I wrote down some goals I wanted to achieve. And my mom also had some goals. So we actually started juicing together. And that was once I moved back home from New Mexico, because that's where I went to college at. And so we just started juicing together, doing like 2 juices a day. And she was like, Victoria, these are really good. And I can tell a big difference. I'm losing inches off my stomach. I feel better. I'm not tired midday. And that's where we kind of was like, well, maybe we should expand. And then people at work started asking, well, what is this you're drinking? And I would like to try it. So constantly I was just getting feedback, but I was in my own head. And so that was in January, February. COVID hit March. So that gave me a lot of extra time to just sit with everything I had journaled about, all the feedback I've already gotten. And I was like, there's no better time to go ahead and kick this off. So my aunt ended up giving me another juicer. So all the juicers I've had just been laid in my lap. So I just think that's divine intervention. And I was like, okay, I hear you. I'm going to do the juicing. So that's pretty much what my health and wellness journey has been like.
Wow, that's amazing. It really just looks like pretty much that that God just literally aligned it and just forced you to go down this specific path and have a specific passion. Because I mean, you getting juicers for free, and juices aren't cheap
at all.
Like I was looking into a juicer maybe a few months ago myself, and I saw it and I said, put it in the budget. At least the good ones anyways, because and
I have invested in a much bigger one, because the volume that I'm doing now, my poor little juicers was like, hey, that's enough. So I did invest in a much bigger one.
So I guess I do have a question about juice here. So is your juicer like, how they say you have cold pressed juice? It's not like pressed, right? Or is it?
It's cold pressed. Yes.
Cold pressed. Okay. It's amazing.
I know a lot of my audience is like, what's the difference? It's all juice.
Exactly.
Doesn't heat the vegetable, the fruits and veggies as it's, being broken down. And that allows you to keep a lot of your nutrients. So the same way you can, how you can overcook vegetables and it loses some of its nutrients. It's the same thing with juicing.
That makes sense.
Okay. So I guess before, because I was doing some research and some stalking and just looking and seeing that I think, you know what? I'm not going to assume. So there was a young lady who was shouting you out on one of your pages, and she was saying, this is my entrepreneur and my lawyer. So I said, a lawyer. So what is life before juicing post 5 months ago, or not post, sorry, pre 5 months ago, 6 months ago, a couple of years? What were your previous goals and dreams and aspirations that you have?
So that young lady was my mom. This made up National Daughters Day just passed, so that's what that post was about. But I am currently working on finishing up my criminal justice bachelor's degree. So I'm in school while I'm doing all this. So life is a little crazy right now, and I also have a part-time job. So it's a little crazy, but I asked for all of this. So now that it's given to me, I just got to roll with the punches. So that's what I'm doing. But after I get this bachelor's degree, I do plan on going to law school. So nothing has changed as far as my goals, and I pretty much just added. But yeah, everything's still the same. I've always wanted to be a lawyer since I was a little girl, like elementary school. When they ask people, what do you want to be when you grow up? That has always been the answer. And I think that's because ever since I can remember, I've been put in positions where I felt like people around me couldn't speak up for themselves for whatever reason, or I noticed some injustice and I wasn't okay with it. I was always the one like, can I interject? Because that's what I just felt like, what better way to, really serve my purpose than to go and be a lawyer.
Right.
That's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just, go ahead. I heard that.
I was doing a little bit of stalking myself, and I saw that you have little tabs on your Instagram where you show like your snacks or your meal prep. So do you see your business expanding to doing meal preps and doing healthy snacks in the future?
I can definitely say the snacks portion, yes, because I almost want to be kind of a one-stop shop, at least for my community, because I have noticed, in a lot of other communities, they have all those options. They have the juice bars, they have the vegan stops, they have all that, and they're knowledgeable about it. Mm-hmm. And it's right there. Our community, not so much. A lot of us do know about, the health and wellness and how important it is, but a lot of us don't because we just don't have it. We have the Walmart and maybe one other grocery store in our community, and you go into it and there's all the chips. We don't have the healthy options. So that's another part of my purpose. I feel like I'm that person in the gap, and I can feel it and educate my people like, hey, this can be fun, this can be good. Because a lot of us are like, the vegan stuff just isn't good. Healthy is just like you love that pineapple passion and you thought there was a sweetener in it. I love when people think there's something added, and that's just me showing them, hey, this can be good and healthy and it can taste good, but it's good for you. We don't have to worry about clogged arteries and heart disease. So that's part 2 of my passion and purpose, but I would love to expand that.
Right.
Okay. We have a question here from the audience.
Hey, Teddy.
Hey, Teddy. What's going on, my good brother? Oh, in the game there. So we have a question. Who are some women that inspire you?
So, of course, the women in my family, my mom, my grandma, my aunts. I have a very big family, and I can say that all the women in my family are true hustlers. They do it all. I also have great men in my family, so I don't want anybody to think like, oh, the family's just broken and incomplete. That's a stereotype, but just if they had to be on their own, they could. But outside of my family, there are a lot of women in the sports world. I would say Allison Felix was the first woman I really looked up to because she always stayed true to herself. And after she had her baby, she really advocated for the rest of the women to, hey, like, we're women, we're allowed to have babies and still come back to the same contract we had before we left. So those are just a few.
That's amazing. That's beautiful. Absolutely. some powerful, powerful, powerful women out there, man. I'm telling you, there's some women that inspire me as well. She inspires me every day too. You know, it's a big jump there.
Oh, I'm blushing. So I see how first of all, how one who is like positively inspirational, how you start that match and you like other matches. Follow me here because it's gonna sound like I'm going off the road. But because you have that first energy that starts the fire, and then they light another match, and so like that, it's like the same flame, but different people keep that flame alive. And I want to say it's beautiful because I can see how you have a love for not only for your people, but how people have loved you so much to make you an inspiration. And so I just want to comment on how I can see that fire, because with us women, I feel like people expect us to be these strong Black women, and like we've gotten to a point where we're like, well, I don't want to be strong no more, but that flame is still important. And I wanted to compliment that flame, because whenever I was drinking that juice, I definitely thought that there was sweetener in there. And I don't drink like a lot of sweet beverages like that. So my question is, how have you, like, how we go on this thing where we drink sodas and then we're like, not drinking soda no more. Like, is there any specific ingredient that you try to avoid in your diet with drinks and stuff like that? Like, mine is high fructose corn syrup. I try to stay away from
that one. And I would just say anything that's carbonated, just because I feel like that was a part of my bloating problem as well. I would notice, like, if I drank something that was carbonated, that my stomach just didn't like it, and I just felt way too full, didn't really want to eat. So I would say anything like a soda. I really don't even like fruit juices because they always add something to it. And I'm like, well, what's the point? That was actually another reason why I wanted to expand past detox juices, because I'm like, there are people out there who want their kids to have apple juice without the high fruit corn syrup. Let me just make the kids an apple juice, that's just apples. So yeah, I would say something else I try to avoid is, as much as I love it, sweet tea.
Yeah.
An amazing sweet tea, but it is so sweet. I'm like, Uncle Andre, how much sugar you put in it?
It's not even sweet tea at that point. It's sugar with a flash of tea.
And that's exactly what I thought about. And I was like, maybe just on Sundays.
No, definitely the sweet tea, the Kool-Aid. It's just it used to be it. But we have another question here. We got Amari Dennis. Can you ship your products, or is it just local?
So right now I am local. The only thing that stopped me from shipping right away was this mail system issue. I am one of those people who I express ship everything. And so when my express shipping was coming around the time that regular stuff was coming, I was like, well, I would hate to ship out my juices, and by the time they get them, they're all, acidic and they're no longer good. So I was like, until I get that 100% guarantee that they're going to get there ASAP, then I'm not going to ship them. I want my stuff to be the best quality it can be. But keep an eye out for that, because it's coming.
Sorry, I mean, look, if you live in New Mexico and you want vitamins, you might as well get to driving. Look, when you place your order on Monday, go ahead and start driving over here so you can pick it up Friday. Hop back on 20 and go east so you can go back to New Mexico and make it back before it comes around. Just saying, it's worth it. So we got another question though. Here we got a shout out to you, Big Unk. If you start juicing at an older age, how does it affect your body?
That's another reason why I started juicing. My grandparents actually have started drinking the juice, and it's great on your body. Sometimes if you have like clogged arteries, kidney, I know beets are really good for your kidneys and liver. So if you have those type of issues, it's a really good cleanser for you. But yeah, your age has no effect on it. It's great for everybody.
It's wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Because I know, being transparent to the audience here, whenever I was dealing with Crohn's at a heavy time in my life, I couldn't eat the raw forms of the fruits and the veggies. They were. It was hard for me to break it down at the time, and so I had to figure out a way to be able to ingest raw fruits and veggies because I'm a person where I like to get my minerals, my vitamins straight from the source rather than to always be taking pills. So I had to turn to juicing and smoothies. And ever since I had started doing the juicing and the smoothies, I started seeing a great turnaround in my health. So whenever I was dealing with the Crohn's, when it was really bad, say, I was losing hair, weight loss was really bad. Bones were very brittle. But then I started actually incorporating fresh fruit juices and smoothies. And as I started doing that, I gradually started regaining, hair and bone strength and density, and started gaining more of a healthy weight where I didn't necessarily feel like I was underweight and fatigued. I actually felt like, I was still skinny and still underweight, but the underweight feeling wasn't as bad as it would feel when it was like I was unhealthy and underweight as well. So, just to let y'all know out there, juicing is like a staple if you can use it properly, if you do it consistently as well. And just to let you guys know, what is it? $6? What ounce? How many ounces was that?
The 12 ounces are $6. Those are the ones that y'all had. I use the 16 ounce more for my detox clients, so they get the bigger bottles, so they will stay full longer all day.
Absolutely, and it's worth it. Trust me, because if you go to Whole Foods, you're gonna be paying $8-10 for a 12-ounce bottle. And
somebody actually told me that last week. They were like, they saw like a pineapple peach juice, and it was like $10, and I was like, see. Shop local.
And it's not as good as yours.
It's not as good.
I can tell you. I have a question of, it might be a little too out there. So if you don't want to answer the question, you don't have to. But have you felt an effect on your menstrual just juicing?
Actually, yes. So I'm glad you asked that because that was something that I was wondering if I should bring up, but I was like,
I was transparent on here. You can
actually, ever since I was 10, that's when I had my first one. So literally for 13 years of my life, I've been having one, and they have been horrible. Absolutely horrible. Even with me running track, being an athlete, it was still horrible. And so last year I decided to, of course, go and try some birth control because that's supposed to be the cure for everything. And as bad as I didn't want to do it, I was tired of suffering. So I just was like, okay, I'll just do it. And for 6 months, it was okay. The next 6 months, I was breaking out. I gained a little bit of weight. It wasn't horrible, but just a little bit. And I just felt horrible. Like I felt like I was depressed, but I knew it wasn't me. I knew it was the medication. And so I still had about 4 months on it. And I was like, I'm not waiting for the prescription to run out. I'm just taking myself off. And at that time, I was juicing heavily. And I actually, these last 3 months have been the best that I've had in my 13 years of having a cycle. So my cramps are not as bad. I actually am working on a juice for women's cycles. I literally last week, I tested it out and I told my mom, I was like, I think this really works. So I tried it out on myself, but it is carrots, which are good for estrogen, excess estrogen, which is something that can actually make you cramp more. Pineapples, which is good for inflammation. So if you have arthritis, digestion problems, any type of inflammation, pineapple will help you. And turmeric. Turmeric is also good for inflammation in your joints. And I just juiced those together, and the pineapple made it actually really good. Like I was kind of scared how it was gonna combine, but I was like, I could drink this. I drank like 2 in a day, and I told my mom, I was like, this is insane to me that they are out here selling me birth control, When I just went to the store and spent maybe $6 on fruits and veggies, juiced it, and I'm able to function. So I'm not here to totally denounce doctors and tell y'all not to take medication at all, but just look into the stuff that we are God given and see how it can help you.
Yeah.
Right. 'Cause they out here trying to kill us, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely. So man, that's wonderful though. I'm glad you're experimenting and you're actually you're not just juicing just for the flavor, but you're juicing for the health and the wellness of the people. You know, because that's important because that, you know, when you actually care about the products in which you're trying to produce for the people,
Right.
and you try to bring value to the people that you're serving, and you're serving the people, then you know the income and the fame and all that, it'll follow. But you feel more fulfilled when you do it because you're doing it for the love of it, and you're doing it for the love of seeing people, like you said, just seeing people say, wow, this juice is great, is it sugar added in this? And you say no. You know, so all those components help you stay or keep from being burnt out on your business, because you know, as long as you get one customer that orders from you and they enjoy your product, that keeps you motivated to go and order again or pre-order again for the next week. But whenever you're doing it just for the money and you only get one order, you say, man, this ain't doing nothing, I'm wasting my time.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's why it's amazing and it's wonderful that you found something that even when you go into law school, you know, you can still continuously do to make you some money on the side. And, you know, prayers up that this becomes something big for you. And you don't even have to work as a part-time job anymore, because all you can do is focus on juicing and studying when you're in law school. So definitely believe that you have something wonderful on your hands. You definitely have a wonderful product on your hands, because I can attest to that. Shoot, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm about to be a little biased here. Because I want to know what's some good juices for some men. What we got over here? You know what I'm saying? What?
So I actually created like I know the celery juice and the beet juice is really good for the kidneys and the liver, and that's for everybody. I'm gonna do a little bit more research for the men so y'all won't feel left out. But the beet juice actually was created based on my grandfather's kidney and liver issues. He has to take a lot of medication, and as you know, that takes a toll on the body. Your body can only break down so much of that. So on top of the issues he already has, plus the medication, it's created a whole other issue. So the beets is helping him to clean out his blood, liver, kidneys. So that, I'm telling you, every single juice I have has probably been inspired by somebody close to me, which is, like you said, that makes it so much more, how do you say? It makes it that much more special to me, because even if I don't sell one weekend, my grandparents will call and be like, hey, I'll buy this off you. I really need this. And it's just to see how much it's helping just this amount of people in such a short time period, it really touches me. And that just lets me know, like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm helping my community already. I have so much more planned, like, for the future. I eventually want to open a grocery store in Black communities, which that's going to be, you know, a little bit further into the future, but that's one of my dreams, because like I was mentioning earlier, we don't have access to a lot of farmers markets, Whole Foods, Sprouts, and it's not like they're expensive stores. I shop there all the time, and I'm like, this is cheaper than Walmart. So that's definitely one of my long-term goals.
Absolutely.
I have a two-part question. You want to do that one first, or you want to?
Sure. Yeah, we can do this one. So saying what I'm asking about is, what about testosterone boost in energy for men's body?
So I have not researched that yet, but I'm very glad that y'all are bringing this up, because this keeps me from getting too complacent and I can research it and deliver for y'all. So I got y'all.
Absolutely. We'll be on the lookout.
My two-part question is, the first part was, do you have a juice that's like 100% alkaline?
No, not yet.
And then my other question, I forgot it. It's gone.
I have a question.
Okay.
Have you ever thought about incorporating CBD or?
That was my other question. Oh, you're in my head. Okay.
So I have been thinking about incorporating sea moss. One of my friends' dads was like, this would be good with some tequila or some 1942. And so we got into all of that whole conversation. So that was an idea, but that is also another idea that I have not quite thought about.
Because I was thinking about the CBD with the one that's good for the menstrual.
Mm-hmm.
It'll because they say that it relaxes, because whenever we're cramping, it's because our muscles are contracting,
right.
And it'll help it relax and everything just flow nice. And man, I need this.
I'm getting so many ideas. I'm over here taking mental notes.
Hey, that's what we're here for. Bouncing them around, bouncing it off each other. But no, for real though, because for you to just be 5 months in the game, in a way, 5 months selling, we've been juicing before, but 5 months selling and just envisioning the impact that you've already been making on the people around you in the community in whom you're serving, that's just already big things. And I can only see you going further in the future, because like we were discussing before, just the fact that it seems like you, not even seems like, let me take that out of my vocabulary. I can see that you love what you are doing and that you love, the just this lifestyle period, you're not doing this just for the buck. And so, just being able to, I'm always here to drop you some suggestions from a man's point of view. He's like, hey, what is it? Can you come drink this and trust me, I'll buy it, even if you make it and it's a test run, because I understand how important capital is to businesses. So if you made something, you need me to try it out, I'm there. Like I'm always, I try to keep myself available and open to the people that support me, because like I was telling the brother from last week, or I'm not sorry, not last week, from Sunday, you coming on my show is supporting. I'm not just this big, huge podcast yet. And like I told him last week, whenever I do become a big, huge podcast, I'm bringing everybody who was on in the beginning back on, so that you guys can get more exposure than you had whenever you were first on my show. And you get a t-shirt as well. But no, but no, absolutely. Like we are, it's an honor to have you on, because, just juicing is dear to me. And I love the thoughts that you have about trying to tackle the food desert that we have in our communities. Just having Walmarts and just having McDonald's and Burger Kings and stuff around the corner. Because me and Aaliyah here, we lived downtown for a year, and it was easily accessible, healthy food options everywhere you went. Doesn't matter where. Like there's a place called Kava downtown, and it's pretty much a better Chipotle, and it's about the same price.
It's insane. I actually live in between two Walmarts. So the Walmart that was originally near us, of course, it's a little bit further into what we call the blacker part of town. And the Walmart that's now closest to us is a little bit newer. It's a neighborhood Walmart, and they've built up all these new apartments around it. There's a Starbucks, so you get my drift. Mm-hmm. So the older Walmart, I went in there. Of course, they have everything you need for a good, soulful Sunday meal. They're never going to run out of any of those ingredients. You're good. I can't find any of my plant-based protein powder, none of my vegan options, none of anything plant-based. They don't really have it in there. And I'm thinking, if somebody who lives on that side of town even were to stumble across it, maybe they would try it, maybe they would like it, maybe that will open a new door to their health and wellness journey, but it's not even available there. I go to this other Walmart, there's a whole aisle strictly for plant-based, strictly for anything vegan, gluten-free, and I'm just like, okay, I'm glad I can get my stuff, but what about the people who don't even know this exists?
Right.
Why is it not available for them? And so that's why I said one of my biggest goals is I want to take them a grocery store and give them everything they need. And if they need information, you know what, maybe I need to have an information counter in there and somebody bring it. But I really want to get them the resources that everyone else has. So yeah, that I can go on a whole rant about that, because that I'm very passionate about that. And it's just it's mind blowing how they really change what's in it's the same store. They're both Walmarts.
Right.
Where it's at, we get different stuff.
Right.
Okay. I used to stay off of I used to stay in Oak Cliff. And there's a street in Wheatland, and on that street you got Charleston Methodist, and they said that Charleston Methodist killed everybody that go in that Charleston Methodist. but and on that same street you got a Taco Bell, you got a Wendy's, you got a Sonic, and you got another one, but you got all these fast food restaurants. The Walmart right across the street, majority of the time the fruits and the veggies, they look old. You hardly want to get them, and then even if they are there, like it's very few and far between. There's not that many there, and now they're gentrifying the area. You get a Starbucks in there, and as soon as that Starbucks got there, a Chipotle went across the street, and then a Sloshki's went across the street, and then that same Walmart that hardly had any fruits and veggies is now closed down. And I don't know if they're picking it back up so that they could like make it better or anything like that. But no, I'm basically saying I feel you, because I was like, this street is meant to kill us. Like this street is not helping.
You leave the hospital and go. That happened to my grandfather. He went to the doctor and they gave him, whatever the report was about his heart. And when he leaves the hospital, of course he's hungry. He wants to go across the street to the Wendy's. And I'm just like, this is just one big revolving door. Go get that, come right back in, spend some more money that you really don't have to spend on these pharmaceuticals. And it's a lot. So I'm just glad that I can be here to kind of educate the people who don't know, even the older people who may not have the time. They don't know how to work the internet. They don't know how to educate themselves on what's good for them. So my grandparents can tell you, I'll go to their house and I'll go through their refrigerator and their pantry and I'll be like, what is this? Why do y'all
Absolutely.
Since you are in the law field and also in the healthy eating field, would you ever see in the future you doing anything for like prisons because of the poor health that they have in prisons? Do you ever like see giving juices just to make sure they're getting their daily sources of vitamin C or anything like that?
I would definitely be open to that, because I am a big believer that the prison system needs a huge reform. I mean, because at the end of the day, there's still people in there. So I would definitely be open to that.
That's dope. Because they be getting Lunchables out there, man.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
But y'all, look at this is her organized. Her page is organized, y'all. It's clean.
I do have a question. How do you what inspires your content creation, or because it looks like you take all these pictures yourself? Yeah.
I just wanted it to look very clean and like refreshing. Like you come to the page and you just feel healthier. I love like the greenery, earthy, very natural feel. And even when I first jumped on with y'all, my blinds were open because I actually hate using lights. So everything that y'all see there was taken like with natural sunlight. I hardly ever use like anything extra. Very minimal goes into like the stuff I use for my page. But I try to keep it organized the best I can. I actually one of my old teammates that I ran track with at Eastern New Mexico, she's now into social media management. And so she's just starting out. So she reached out to me and asked, if she could help me, give me some tips. So she helped me a lot with that. Her name is Janae. And so Janae, if you're watching, thank you so much. So she taught me a lot, like even how to select your audience, the use of hashtags, this social media stuff. It can really make or break your business.
Absolutely. Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, so there's so much to learn, and with Instagram's crazy algorithm now, you really have to utilize, your hashtags and sharing and saving. So, and a lot of the ingredients, like the papaya in the middle, all the ingredients you see on my page, I've used in my juices.
Hold on now, you've been holding out. I'm looking here and I see you got fresh fruit pops.
I actually made when I made the pineapple passion a few months ago. The pulp that comes out of the back of the juicer. I actually tasted it one day, and my mom was like, "Girl, this is good. Don't throw this away." So I froze it, and we had pineapple passion pops after dinner one day.
And why did you stop making those?
And see, that's a part of the expansion of Vital V's. We're gonna hook y'all up once we, get a place and we have freezers. We're gonna hook y'all up.
Nah, I'm gonna need that.
ASAP no Rocky.
I need that on the stick, please, and thank you.
And see, that's a great, little kid snack. It's small. It's all natural. You don't have to feel guilty about giving it to your kid. There's no extra sugars in it.
Speaking of children, I currently work in I'm a preschool teacher, and they get home cooked meals majority of the time. Sometimes I feel like she be grabbing that from Walmart, but majority of the time they get like home cooked meals. Like even today, I ate this pizza and it was like a lunch pizza, but like you could tell that she cooked it at home. Do you ever see yourself like not donating, but like producing fruit juices for the children at school, because they be giving them milk and food? Like that is not a healthy combination.
Yeah, I was actually talking to one of my friends about that. Like we were really drinking milk without school. But, yes, I had one of my customers I believe she has a 1-year-old daughter, and she is very intentional about what she gives her daughter. And so I actually ordered like some 4 to 8 ounce little juices so that I could make them for kids, in a kid size. So I think, once I'm a bigger brand and I have that power, I would definitely want to, help the kiddos out, schools, daycares, Vital V's everywhere. Even I was thinking like vending machines. Because I mean, kids love to go and get a soda out of a vending machine. So
right.
Wow. Have you ever heard of it's called Popcom or something like that? It's a vending. It's like a very technological vending machine. It's I think her name is Dawn Birch, maybe. I could be saying that wrong.
I can't say I have.
She is a tech entrepreneur, and she came up with an idea to have like a smart vending machine. So it has the ability to, not just keep things cold, but it, like you can play around with it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me see here. Stop this screen real quick.
And I'm actually glad that you went on my page and went all the way to the bottom, because I was watching an interview that you guys did. I can't remember the lady's name, so forgive me, but I believe she's in nonprofit organizations and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, Jasmine.
Yes, Jasmine. And she was saying how, it's okay to rebrand. And I was just looking at the progression, because I try not to go on my page too much because I get really nitpicky and I'm like, well, let me delete this, let me take this off. But I intentionally left a lot of stuff there from the beginning because sometimes I need to see my progression. And sometimes I get so caught up in, okay, what's next, that I forget how far I've come. Even though it's only been 5 months, I've already grown so much. And that's just not for business, but for life. I mean, I think you know, our generation in particular, we're very like, okay, I got this, what's next? You know, we're never really happy with the now. And so I was struggling with that a few weeks ago. I was like, well, you know, mom, you know, what's next? I need to do this. I need to get the label. I need to get this. And I had to stop. I took a week off and I just started looking through my journal, my notes, and I was like, everything I asked for has happened. I just need to, you know, take some time and smell the flowers because this is crazy. You know, like I've grown so much. So I think that's important for anybody who has started a business or really is just struggling with where they are in life. Look how far you've come.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Absolutely. This isn't a question, but you know, it's a nice, you know, I don't think you can see the comments on your side? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can see everybody's comments on the side of the screen? Oh, well, hey, we're already here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that because, you know, I was like, I would love to do some social media ad campaigns for you. So this guy here, he is a wonderful, shout out G, Astronaut G. He is a hell of a graphic design artist. And I know this is your show, but I'm
yes, no, I love it. That's why I love doing stuff like this because it brings so many other people, you know, into my path.
Absolutely. I just wanted, you know, to expose him to you in case you ever needed anybody who, you know, can work with specific, you know, just really get your brand going, logo, whatever you may need. He's a great guy to hit up because he has some dope art and he's not afraid to test the limits. You know, like some artists may have a specific lane that they stay in, and he's able to. He likes to go out of his lane. He likes the challenge. So just wanted to put him on the spotlight real quick for you. But absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, going back to, you know, you, so 5 years from now, Vital V's, or actually when you start law school?
I will probably be finishing up law school in about 5 years.
Okay.
So I'll be at the end, yeah.
6 years from now, where do we see Vital V's Juicery? And how do you want this to be important in your life?
Well, first of all, I see us having a physical location, at least one, and I would love for it to be like maybe mid-city, so in between Dallas and Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it could accommodate everybody, and of course we'll be shipping by then, but just in case people want to go to a physical location. And I was in Dallas one weekend with a friend, and I can't remember what vintage pop-up shop we were. We're always at somebody's vintage pop-up shop. But I ran across a space, and I just loved the lighting, and it was that earthy plant thing that I'm into. And I took a picture because I was like, this is it. This is kind of how I see my physical location. So I can say that's what I see for the next 5 or 6 years. But I definitely want this to be a part of my life and legacy for as long as I can. And I just can't wait to see what I turn it into. And as much as I love it, I'm glad that I can make money off of it because I want to have something to give to, you know, my kids, my grandkids, and say, I created this, here, you take it, do what you want with it.
Right. Absolutely.
I have a question about team. Do you have, I know you said you and your mom do a lot of the juicing together, but do you have like a set team that helps you right now?
So no, I don't. It's just me, my mom, my dad if he's home, because he does work a lot, which let me say that, my mom works a lot as well. She is a busy lady. And sometimes I feel bad because she's about to go do whatever it is she's about to do. And she's like, do you want me to cut this up? And I'm like, I do, but no. But I'm very blessed that I have them because I'm very independent and sometimes a little bit of a control freak. So sometimes I don't like people to help me because I'm like, well, I want this done a certain way. I'll do it so no one messes it up. But as I'm growing, I'm understanding you have to let people help you sometimes. You have to find people that you trust. But so yeah, that's another battle that I'm fighting within myself is, hey, you can ask for help. It's okay.
Absolutely.
Good tidbit.
No, absolutely. Because being able to delegate, being able to, put people that you trust to take over for a little bit, it helps a lot, because not only does it help with, just the normal being able to take a break, being able to take a little mental break, but it helps the creativity as well. Because when you're consistently producing, you don't have enough time to sit back and create. And so if you're doing everything, you're juicing, you're chopping, you're shopping, you're doing every single thing that you have to do for your business, you're taking the orders, you're shipping, you don't really have the time that you think you have to sit back, breathe, meditate, and really just create and come up with something new. The real time to be able to research and figure out what's a good drink for men's testosterone boosting energy, like.
That's a very good point.
And so whenever you have the ability to delegate work or have somebody chop up your veggies, you can use that, or your fruits and veggies. You can use that. I don't know how long it takes you, but just say it takes 2 hours. Boom. Now you got 2 extra hours out of the day where you can go back, do some research, figure out some different flavor combinations, and just really be able to scale and sharpen the iron on your business even more. So
Right.
that's definitely an important. I'm learning that lesson too myself. Trying not to take
Mhm.
over everything, trying to learn how to delegate.
And learning when to say, like, okay, let me take a break, because it's very easy. And that's another thing about, I was reading something the other day about how our generation has made it seem like every single moment needs to be a productive moment, or else you're wasting time. And for a minute, I was driving myself crazy with that a little bit, because I was like, okay, I'm doing schoolwork, but I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna do the juice, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna work out. And I had to take a step back and say, it's okay to breathe. It's
Right.
okay to watch an episode or two and not feel guilty about it. Every single moment is not supposed to be productive, because that's how you get burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's beautiful. Can I tell you how inspiring it is that you are striving to be, that not striving, but you are becoming a lawyer, and you're also doing the juice, because we're taught to have backup plans, and you don't have a backup plan. You got one plan, and it just involves 2 things, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I just want to say, Ashay, like, that's inspiring.
thank you.
We need to have more women and men, of course, but like you, who say, I'm 23 years old, I want to be a lawyer, I have my own juicing company, juicing business. I don't want to put one label on there, because I know you're planning on expanding, but like, it's to see duality, because that's duality. You're doing 2 different things, and you're also taking care of yourself. And I just want to say that that's very inspiring. Can I ask a question about your zodiac sign?
What do you think it is?
I think you're a Capricorn.
So no, I'm actually a Leo.
What? Oh
Yeah.
my God. I've been off
so
on these
wrong.
fire signs. Like, I'm an
Yeah.
Aries. I tell myself I can see a fire sign a mile away, but I'm lying, because apparently I can't.
Trust me, you can see it when that fire needs to come out. It comes out, and
Oh
that's
no, I see Leo. I see it. Like, now that you say it, I see it.
yes. Yep.
You have another question?
I'm just a water sign.
Oh, whatever.
No, I'm kidding. But let me see here. We got the 5-year plan. I guess we could go into maybe like what is your vision for the store? Like,
Oh yeah.
like what's the vision for the store?
So, do you want like the physical vision on, what I want it to look like, or as far as what I want to sell in there?
I want to know what you want to sell in there.
Sell in there. How do you want it to? Because the reason why I'm asking is because I guess I should give context, right? Yeah, of course. I had a vision to open up a juice store as well, but it was because I just wanted to attack food deserts. So I wanted to open one up in Oak Cliff, and that, I mean, that's just one place, and eventually I'll go to even more places that have food deserts. But like, one of my ideas, the way I wanted the juice store to be ran was, you know, we have fresh fruit juices and snacks, you know, fresh, healthy snacks, and kids would have the ability to, and by all means, take this idea and run with it if you want. Like, I promise you that juice is your thing. It's not my thing. I was gonna have to partner up with people who know how to do the juicing. You know what I'm saying? So if you take it, I'm not one of those people, you know, that feel like it's my idea and don't you take it. No, if it helps my people in the community, please take the idea. So the way I had it was, I was going to, you know, implement programs for the kids, and even like parents, to give them opportunities to, you know, if maybe they can't necessarily afford the juice and afford the snacks.
But you could bring me something to show that you're working, and I can reward you with what I have. I was actually thinking something along the lines of, you know, teenagers who need jobs come work at Vital Beach Juicery. Also, because I would be very flexible. I understand being a teenager who has to work, your first focus should be school.
Mhm.
And on top of that, you're gonna have extracurricular activities. I want kids to be able to come in, make their money, but still know that I can make it to practice. I have time to go home and do my homework and not be closing the juice shop till 11 and 12. So that's one thing. But I was also thinking, it was kind of aligned with my grocery store idea. I want people to be able to come and pick up fresh fruits and veggies from the juice shop as well. So they'll, I don't know, I'm sure y'all have been to Brahms, but Brahms was kind of like that, where they had a grocery store portion of the store. So I was thinking, you know, since a lot of these grocery stores are not providing good produce, I'll just provide that, you know. So you can just stop in, get what you need, and even maybe deliver, you know, because a lot of people don't even have the transportation to go
Absolutely.
out and get what they need. So
Absolutely. You definitely have to think about convenience, because
mhm.
convenience is the one reason why, you know, because the whole point of this show was to show, you know, our community that we have a lot of the aspects in our community, like jobs, specific brands. We have them in our community. We just don't either A, know where it is or what it is, and B, is convenience.
I told somebody that last week actually. I said a lot of times, you know, when we do run across a juice shop, we don't know what it is. We like, okay, and you know, we walk right past it, not understanding what it is. So you put it in our community, then you got to go in there eventually. It's right next to the barber shop, you know.
Exactly. Exactly. And so the convenience factor is another big thing. It's one of the biggest things because, you know, just for example, using your example, your business right now, because of the mail system being kind of wonky right now, you know, people have to drive to Fort Worth. So those who are in Dallas, they don't want to make that drive to Fort Worth. They may be a little hesitant of,
Right.
you know, getting or ordering. But you know, my whole thing is about being intentional, being intentionally black right now, especially with black owned business. And so I'll make that drive. But you know, obviously I know this is not something that you'll be doing forever. Like, oh no, y'all gonna come to Fort Worth and pick up this juice forever.
In, you know, other cities, like pop up one weekend in Arlington, Dallas. So
Mhm.
people that have been wanting to but maybe couldn't get over here on that day will have that opportunity.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Because yeah, I was going to that, you know, because you're talking about delivery. And so getting back on my thought real quick. So before I lose myself, because I can ramble. But you know, hold on, I'm sorry. Physical video. Sorry, you know what went there. But yeah, so being able to deliver and being able to provide them with what they need is going to help bridge that gap between, or bridge that, or connect that disconnect between our people in Black business, because all we really need is for it to be convenient and in our face. Walmart is in our face 24/7. You know, I can go right now, go up the street, I'm gonna see a Walmart. I keep driving up the street, I'm gonna see another Walmart. And so because of that, whenever I'm at home and I say I need something, I'm gonna say, let me run to Walmart. So this show, and you know, the beauty of technology in the future and the minds that we have now, your mind, her mind, you know, is that we are creating ways that can make Black business more accessible and more known. You know, we're splashing it in your face. I know that's what I'm doing. I'm putting it in your face. You know what I mean? And I'm consistently, or I'm gonna make it my goal anyways, to be consistently supportive of those, especially if they're on my show. You know, I'm gonna be consistently supportive, and I'm always shout you out whenever I get something from you. So if I go get some juice from you next week, I'm gonna tag you again, even though I tagged you last week.
And I was that's one thing that I noticed. You know, this year, that was one of my goals, to support as many Black entrepreneurs, businesses as I can. And so literally everything that I've bought for like the last 6 or 7 months is Black owned. And every time I buy something, you know, I try to post about it. And I said to myself, I really think that that's one reason why I have been so successful in such a short time period. And I was actually watching one of Aaliyah's Instagram videos, and she was saying that one of the things about being professional is not using people. And so that really stuck with me, because I was telling my mom, even if I feel like somebody's overlooking me, I'm going to continue to be genuine and shout people out, because you never know, you know, maybe they really didn't see your stuff. Maybe it doesn't, you know, appeal to them. You never know, but I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to show genuine love and support. And the amount of support that I've received back is overwhelming. And I can only think it's because I've been so genuine and happy to see other people thrive. And so that, when you said that, I was like, yes, I'm on the right track. But yeah, I never post so someone can, oh, I'm going to post them so they can post me tomorrow. It's never been that way for me. And so I sincerely think that's one of the reasons why this 5 months has seemed like I've been doing this for a year plus.
Definitely. Whenever you put that genuine energy out there, because there's something different about genuine energy. Because, you know, it's one thing to be nice, it's another thing to be polite, but it's a totally different thing to be genuine. Like, I'm not gonna hold you. I had a question. Now it's going, because that whenever you told me you watched my video, I was like, oh shoot, which one? This is beautiful. I definitely, whenever you are you selling the drink, the drink with the carrots, the turmeric, and the pineapple passion right now?
It'll be on the menu probably in the next 2 weeks.
I'm a cop. I'm a big cop. A couple of. Have you gotten to the point to where you sell like? Oh no, I saw that your max that you sell, is it 3 bottles per person, or is that just for the 3 mile radius?
That's just for delivery purposes. Yeah, buy at least 3, so you know you can qualify for delivering. But no, I really don't have a limit. I had a friend who was buying like 10 and 12 bottles every week. And so I was just like, this is how it's going to be. I'm just going to have to do what I need to do to make sure that I can supply that for people if they want it.
Right. That's good. Tari, I pray I'm pronouncing that right. Tari Walker.
That's my mom, Tara.
How do you handle the haters, sis?
I'll say pretty much what you taught me, Mom, is stay in your lane. And another thing that track taught me was, when you're running a race, you're never looking at what somebody in the other lane is doing, because that's how you lose.
Right.
So if you just focus on what you're doing and you don't worry about what other people think, because that's another thing. Once you start thinking, well, what are other people going to think about this? And you start limiting yourself because you're thinking on their level. So you can never, lower your vibration to match what they're doing, even competition wise. If somebody's doing what you're doing, you can't be on the level of, well, I just want to outdo them, because you could do so much more than just outdo them, but you're so busy worried about what they're doing. You're settling yourself short. So that's what we do with haters, Mom.
How do you pronounce it again?
It's Tara with an I. So like Tara, but with an I at the end. My granny was getting creative.
That's cute though.
Shout out Miss Tara.
Thank you, Chanel. My friend said, love you, V.
Shout out Chanel too. Thank you all. Thank you all, for tapping in. I really do appreciate it. Just everyone who is watching, just take this brief moment to shout everybody out, because you guys are the heart, I guess you would say, the heart of this show as well. Without the views and without the likes and the subscriptions, I'm not saying the show would be, dead, but the show wouldn't be live either, if that makes sense. But it's more exposure when you guys subscribe and show, and so I appreciate that, and I appreciate you as well, Miss Victoria, for coming on. Man, what side? Where's your family from?
Walker. His last name is Walker.
So my dad is actually from Georgia.
Oh,
yes. So a lot of my Georgia family is probably either on here right now or they're gonna watch it later. So yes, and if I don't know if you saw my Facebook post, but I said if all my first cousins just watch, we can break a record. Cause my daddy,
absolutely,
my dad is 15 out of 16 kids.
Wow.
Yes, and mostly all of them have at least 2 kids. So yeah,
that's be lit.
Beautiful, like beautiful. That because I was raised. I have an older sister and a younger brother, and to me that was a big family. I was like, it's too many of us in this house.
Absolutely. Now my family's kind of small. That's why I asked. I was just wondering. I was, hopefully out there. I was like, hey, I got some more Walkers over here. Yeah, but nah. I feel like no. That my Walker side is from Waco, so
yeah. And then my mom, all of her people are from here, Fort Worth. So her side is pretty big too. My grandmother has like 10 siblings as well. So both. I'm telling y'all, if just my family alone, I know one weekend, I think just my family bought, and I was like, I'm sold out.
I'm out of there. I'm sorry, outside people. So you got to start putting the sorry family. Y'all can only get one.
Yes, and that's what I have to do. That just pushes me to be bigger and better, because I'm like, I gotta satisfy them, but I have to service other people too. So shout out to my family for always supporting everything that I do. And Miss Renee, thank you.
Yes, Miss Renee, thank you as well. We appreciate you. Woo. Because I know driving out there to Fort Worth into your side of town give me very nostalgic memories, because my cousin stayed out there in that North Crowley area. And I was like, man, I ain't been over here in a minute. Like, your neighborhood was like right beside or behind his neighborhood as well. So I'm pretty sure y'all went to the same school around the same time. So I don't know if you ever knew a Khalil Chambers, but
yes.
You know Khalil Chambers?
I believe he's a year older than me.
Yeah, he was probably a year. Shout out Khalil, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're watching this, but if you are, shout you out, homie.
It's a small world, man.
Very small world. But man, it was a pleasure. It was an honor having you on the show. Like I said, and my word is bond. Once I'm booming, you'll be back on the show. So I hope, whether that's a year from now, 2, 3, whatever, you better get them juices ready, because next time people gonna be hitting you up. What's up with the juice? Oh, so be ready.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely,
No
absolutely.
problem. It was definitely I feel I'm honored to have a conversation with you. I am inspired by you, and you are a beautiful person inside and out. And I want to thank you for your time because time is something you cannot get back.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And I will be in contact with you still for the
Okay.
shirt. The shirt is gonna be dope. I just gotta get it made, make it some capital. Yeah, the shirt's gonna be dope. I'll send you a little sneak peek. You know what I'm saying? You can see what it's about. But yeah. Other than that, you have any more questions?
Are you an only child?
No, I have a younger brother and I have 2 older sisters who live in Georgia as well.
Oh, cool.
And one of my niece's birthdays today. So if she's watching, well, her birthday party's going on right now. So happy birthday, Jariah.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday.
Jariah. Shout out to you, bro.
Absolutely. So I normally try to leave off with just not me, but I'm gonna ask you the question. What is just one piece of advice that you have for any up and coming entrepreneurs, or anybody out there that's getting into the health game that may not even be entrepreneurs, they're just trying to get healthy. So what is one piece of advice that you would give them before we exit off the show?
For the health side, I would say don't be afraid to try new things. Some things you may like that you didn't like as a child or you're not really sure. So just don't be afraid to try and ask questions. And for my upcoming entrepreneurs, don't be afraid to fail. You will fail if you don't try. So everything is trial and error. You can do it. Roll with the punches, and the marathon continues.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am.
Shout out, Guy Nipsey Hussle, man. Rest in peace. But man, I appreciate you once again for being on this show, and everybody that shall be a wrap, and all the audience. I appreciate you as well. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening and rest of your week. And we pray for many, many successful endeavors for you in the future. Aaliyah, I know if you're looking at me like you have something to say.
No, it's just an honor.
Oh, okay, cool. I appreciate that. Look at me. But no, I appreciate you, and but that's it. Thank you for coming on the show, and that's it. That is another episode of the Black on Tour. Everybody, if you can give Miss Victoria of Vital V's Juicery a round of applause for that wonderful interview. Eventually, I'm gonna get a button and on my machine here, and it's gonna be so. But before that, man, thank you again though for really coming on. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a great night.